Track That Scat. Written by Lisa Murlock. Finn ties new boots on restless feet. Skit scat, says Mom. Do keep them neat. Sure enough, Finn says as she leaves home. But Mom knows toes are made to roam. Finn yells as she flings wide the door. Come on, Skeeter, let's go explore. But what? That lazy hound won't go. Finn nudges him with a big heave-ho. Fancy-free, the two hightail pass pellets on the grassy trail. Zigzagging tracks with broad V clumps. Whatever hurried through here jumps. With one trip slip, then Finn's foot goes flat. Oh no, right into it's Scat. Eek, eek, is all she has to say before she bunny hops away. Eastern cottontail rabbits. To follow a rabbit's tracks. Let its hind legs lead you, bounding at 15 miles per hour. Wow. Front paws hit the ground as larger hind paws swing forward and land just ahead of the front ones, just like the tracks shown below. The rabbit remains coiled up like a spring until it pushes off with powerful back legs. Momentarily, it's completely airborne. The rabbit's movement resembles what we do when playing leapfrog. Rabbits eat their own poop. Ew. Sounds disgusting, huh? When their scat comes out the first time, it's in soft, moist pellets. The animal eats these pellets. The second time, the pellets are dry and rounded with a flat side, and found in piles or as scattered singles. Rabbits typically are silent animals, but they can growl, hiss, or make a purr-like sound. When in danger, rabbits have a squeal that can sound similar to a child's scream. That's pretty interesting. And here we have an up-close and personal look at some rabbits. Yeah. And lots of it. Finn leaps across a winding creek. Now Skeeter's playing hide and seek. Finn looks around. What does she spy? A green grass patty mixed with rye. Three-toed web prints grouped together. Nearby floats a long-tail feather. With one trop-plop, Finn's foot goes splat. Oh no! She steps into Scat. Honk honk is all Finn has to say. She flaps her arms and flies away. Canada geese. To find Canada goose tracks, look near water. They have 3 toes connected by a web, just like the tracks down below. At the end of each toe is a wide, blunt claw. Their webbed feet make it easy for them to swim. A Canada goose produces, get this, 1 to 3 pounds of sausage-shaped scat every day. That's quite a bit of poop for a bird that weighs around 10 pounds. Geese are herbivores and eat water plants, grasses, and grains. Due to this diet, fresh goose scat is a greenish gray that darkens over time. Geese honk when migrating, but they're also famous for hissing when something threatens them or their nest. And here we have some goose scat and a quarter for size. That is a lot of scat. And, just as mentioned before, I can see the greenish tint to this animal's scat. Can you? Finn lands upon a hollow log and yells, "Come on," to that old dog. 5-toed tracks like handprints see, a messy pile beneath the tree. A den. Her hound plays show and smell, dried leaves, fish bones, and a walnut shell. With one tromp stomp, Finn's foot goes splat. Oh no, right into Raccoon Scat. Growl, growl is all Finn has to say. Like a bandit, she steals away. Raccoons. Raccoons have front paws that look like small hands and back paws that resemble feet with very long toes, just as the picture of the tracks below. Their paws end with a fat round heel, and their toes end with long claws. Raccoons shuffle when they walk, scuffing the ground with their back feet. A raccoon makes its own toilet, called a latrine, close to its den. That's very tiny of them. Raccoons also leave piles of scat on logs and fallen logs and rocks. The scat is blackish brown with a reddish tint and forms a clumpy, segmented cylinder with flat ends. Never pick up any scat, but especially not raccoon scat, as it often contains a dangerous roundworm parasite that can make people very sick. Raccoons make a calm, coo-like sound. When upset, they chatter, snarl, and growl. They'll also hiss as a warning and make a purr-like sound when content. Raccoon scat we have, and a nickel for size. I can definitely see a lot of texture in this animal's diet. How about you? And shuffles past another track. Toes form a line from front to back. A pinch of fur, a feather too. Mystery seeds and a tail of shrew. With one slide, skid, Finn's foot goes splat. Oh no, she stepped in scat. Snort, snarl is all Finn has to say, and then she foxtrots straight away. Red foxes. When they walk, red foxes place one foot directly in front of the other, leaving a straight line of tracks that you can see below. They walk with this way because their chest cavity is very narrow. Each paw forms a small oval shape with four-clawed toes, and their heel pads make a broad V shape. Red fox is about as thick as an adult's thumb and twice as long. Wow, that's pretty long. In winter, their scat is often covered in an outer layer of fur tangled around small bones and may be rope-shaped, tapered, and segmented. That's a good clue right there. In the summer, there may be seeds or green plant material present, and the scat will be crumbly with blunt ends. Red foxes are usually quiet, but their bark sounds similar to that of a yappy dog. If in danger, they let out a sharp shriek. They also growl and whine. Here's some red fox scat. I can definitely see some diet contents that are different depending on the time of year. Finn bounds until she sees clawed ground with scratchy dig marks all around. 5 oval toes form little paws, and 5 clear points define front claws. A small pile of smashed turtle eggs, bumblebee wings, and spider legs. A rotten odor rushes through. Finn says, "Hey, Skeeter, is that you?" Suddenly, Skeeter rockets past. That dog has never run so fast. A white striped streak, tail raising funk. Oh no, this scat belongs to none other than Skunk. Pew! That's all Finn has to say. Nose plugged, she sprints to get away. I don't blame her. Striped skunks leave 5-toed front and back prints. Each paw comes with a set of claws the skunk uses to dig up food, just like seen above. Their back prints are larger and set wider than their front prints because they walk, get this, with a waddle. If there's a small scat pile with insect wings, legs, and other parts sticking out, it was likely left by a skunk. A skunk scat narrows at one or both ends and is about 3 inches long. As far as a skunk is concerned, People should fear the rear. Before they spray, skunks usually hiss or snarl a warning, and consider yourself warned. They'll do something like a handstand to line their bottoms with an enemy's face. Watch out, because skunks can spray a target from 15 feet away. When they spray, a choking mist fills a 30-foot circle around the animal. Now that's pretty potent. Here we have some skunk scat. Clearly identified, more than likely by its smell and its contents. It slows below a chickadee that's singing in a maple tree. The bird takes flight, then feels a splat. New boots are blotched by songbird scat. A twirl of black, a whitish ring. The only thing to do is sing. Black-capped chickadees. Chickadees have 3 toes that face forward like the tines of a fork, and 1 toe that stretches straight back. But these tiny birds leave virtually no detectable tracks, just like you can see below. Hold 2 quarters in your hand. Wow. And you'll have an idea of how much a chickadee weighs. Not very much. Yet this little songbird eats at almost every moment of the day, so it poops a lot. When fresh, its scat looks like a small round pile of pencil lead. That's interesting. Chickadees use lots of calls to talk to each other, but the easiest way to detect them is to listen for the chickadee-dee-dee sound they make. Chickadee-dee-dee, what a day, in brand new boots she scats away. And just like that, chickadee scat. And lots of it. Fresh woodsy air, relaxing stroll. Oh, Finn's got nature in her soul, and on her soul, around her soul, beneath her soul. Ring-a-ling! Mom sounds the bell. Time to go home. It's just as well. That dog is tired. His tail has drooped. Both Skeeter and Finn's boots are pooped. At bedtime, Mom asks, "What's all that?" Well, shoo bop, bebop, that is scat. Now that you are DooDoo Detectives and know all about that scat, we're going to do a little fun game and try to identify different animal scat, starting with this one. And if you notice, there's a trend. Remember what was said in the book about detecting whose scat is that? I'll give you a hint. There's not a lot of it, and it's small. What are you thinking? If you guessed armadillo, you are a certified DooDoo detective, because that's exactly what it is. And great job. How about this one? Unlike the last one, there's a lot more of it. And you actually have a close-up view of the contents. Now, as a DooDoo detective, look deep into the scat to discover whose scat is that. I don't know about you, but I can see some fur, maybe even the own animal's fur. I can see some bones, looks like even some skulls. What are you thinking? And it's in sand. All right. How about bobcat? That's right, bobcat. Because you can see it's a meat eater with the bones, and you can see its fur and its scat because it actually is like a domestic cat. It cleans itself and licks its fur clean and doesn't digest that fur. So therefore, where does it go? In its scat. And possibly it could be mixed in with whatever animal it may have eaten and the bones as well, because they don't digest their bones or their fur of the contents in which they consume. All right. What about this one? Just like the bobcat, it is quite large, and it's in sand. So this animal lives in sand too. Maybe even the same area that the bobcat lives. Before I give too much away, what do you say? I'm noticing, just like the other animal, that there's fur in this scat as well, and it has a pointed end, a couple of different places. So what do you say? Coyote. Correct. If you said coyote, you got it. Anybody noticing a trend so far? Keep up the good work if you guess. Now we've come to our last animal scat. But there's a lot of it, right? And there's pine needles and a rocky area, looks like. Kind of for, climbing and maybe. What are you thinking? I mean, there's a lot of it. Small and round. You may be thinking rabbit, but think bigger. And again, we have a trend. We've done A, B, C, not D yet, because this is it. If you guessed deer, you are correct. And you now are a certified DooDoo Detective. And you can go out and you can teach others everything about what you learned today just from listening to the DooDoo Detectives program.